floors can't take no more. Stuck in this groove, I'm feeling bored.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hockey fans of all ages, welcome to the Breckenridge Vipers versus the Sin City Kings, live from the Stephen C. West Ice Arena here in Breckenridge. We're going to take a pause and listen to the opening lineups. And now for the singing of our national anthem, Greg at a Mission. Absolutely stunning rendition of the national anthem by the Pipes of the Vipes, Greg at a Mission. And this evening's starting lineups for the Sin City Kings. Starting forward at number 15, Prekop. Number 27, Aziz Savidra. And at number 12, Corey Jew. On defense, number 32, Matt Broman, and number 95, Cole McCrossin. Starting in net this evening, 29, Cox. Your Vipers starting lineup this evening. Starting at left wing, number 24, Joe Day. Starting at center, number 77, Colton Fransimone. And at right wing, number 55, Andrew Rohde, as this contest kicks off. won back initially by the Sin City Kings, but play controlled in the Kings zone by the Vipers and gathered up by the new netminder for the Kings. That'll be number 29, Derek Cox. Looking forward to an electric game, a full barn here this evening to kick things off. That draw won back by the Kings and sent directly into the stands, so some fan is going home with a complimentary souvenir puck and hopefully nothing additional. That's 77, Franz-Simone taking the draw, won back by the Vipers, but controlled by the Kings into the neutral zone and picked off by the Vipers. Carried across the blue line and swept across the neutral zone, now in the hands of Kendall. Kendall up to the stick of Rhodey. Kendall fires one on from the pass from Rhodey at the board door. Kendall chips it across for Bernstein. Bernstein lays one on. And that shot is turned aside and tumbles all the way down to the far end for an icing call. And we'll have our first offensive zone faceoff of the evening. Ricky Battenberg, the team captain, number 74, to take the draw for the Vipers. Won back by Battenberg to number 13, Kendall. A little fight for it in front of the net. Bounced off the stick of Tilligast out to Kendall, back to Tilligast, and that will make its way across the line into the neutral zone. And the boys will gather themselves back in the Viper end. Quick little pass from Bernstein up to Tilligast. Tilligast over to Battenberg. Battenberg tosses it to Sinclair. That is not correct, folks. I do not have the correct number or the correct list for that, but we will get that correction as to who is wearing the sweater of 25 this evening. Tilligast breaks free from a little ruck in the corner boards, and it's played up the wall for Spence Lennard, who tosses one on. It's controlled behind the Kings cage and punched out into the neutral zone, where possession is gathered by Tilligast. Spence Lennard up the boards. And Mitch Bailey with a strong forecheck, followed up by number 23, Svoboda. And we'll go for the icing touch-up one more time. Draw one back by the Kings. Controlled through to the neutral zone. And contested by Mitch Bailey, but carried on by 15 Prekov. And that puck is bounced up and over the sideboards, and another lucky fan is going home with a complimentary souvenir puck. They are not quite as soft as the ones you'll find in the gift shop. These ones have been soaked in snow for at least an hour before the game to make sure that they act right while they're down on the surface of the ice. That draw won by the Vipers, controlled, and Svoboda up, drop pass to Bailey. Bailey back to Svoboda. Behind the cage to G. G pops it out to Selaski. Selaski to Svoboda. Svoboda attempts to deliver the seam pass for G, does not get off. Mitch Bailey gets one to Garrett Bailey, G. G comes away to Scanlon. Scanlon down the boards. And that puck lost behind the net. Gathered up. Chance for G here, but held by 29. Cox, the netminder for the Kings this evening. Asenso to the dot for the Vipers to take the draw. 1 over to Micah Reed. Reed passes it off to, pardon me, that was 1 over to Mike Ivory. And in that case, the fan actually catches the puck up and over the glass. Fantastic. That's the sort of heads-up hockey attendance we look for here. You got to be able to protect your own safety first and foremost. And that's Alec Asensio to the dot to take the draw for the Vipers. Draw 1 back by the Kings, contested behind the Kings net by Luke Noble. And a big dive out of the Kings player after some firm pressure applied by Asensio. That puck trickles out to Derek Scanlon. Scanlon banks it off the boards for Noble. Noble over to Asensio, and it's gathered up by Ivory behind the cage. Micah Reed hard on the puck. Over to Ivory, and a quick one-timer from Asensio does not find its mark. Quick stick handling out of Reed there. Reed back to Scanlon. Scanlon attempting to put some on it, and at 52, Whittle just gets a little bit of his blade there to interfere. Fantastic chance for Micah Reed there, misses it, and dumps it back to Noble in a quick bit of stick handling. That puck is lost to the Kings defense, and the Kings will get a change as Scanlon gets to toss one on high right, and a big hit is leveled by Alec Asensio. And the Kings struggle to clear here. Strong Vipers pressure. Colton Franzimone blows a tire. And the Kings are able to capitalize, pushing the puck all the way to the far end of the Vipers zone, but quickly skated out and shot up to Andrew Rohde. Tossed across for Franzimone, but the pass just ahead of him. Now a contest for it in the neutral. Big hit leveled there by Jacob Sinclair. No, I apologize. That is Sinclair's jersey number, but not Sinclair wearing it. And first blood drawn by the Kings. Brady DeVries only gave up a 1 in the entire 60 minutes during last night's contest. And during just over 6 minutes so far, we're a little shy, but no doubt that one will be a quick burst of adrenaline for him, and he has not seen much action down at his end, certainly, so hopefully that fires him up and lights the fires behind those eyes. And that face-off won by Tilly, but run over by a pretty good-sized gentleman on the Kings. We're getting a little bit of extra music in here. The fans loved it. But unfortunately, and a big cross-ice pass. Another chance on DeVries. DeVries, blocker set, diffuses it. But the Kings maintain the zone. gathered up by Leonard. Leonard fed that over to Solaski and punched on. That was either Tilligast or Kendall that gathered it up. That punched out to the neutral zone and tossed right back in by Solaski. And the Vipers' attack continues. Here Scanlon will hold as the Vipers must tag up to remain on sides. And that pass from Mitch Bailey just off the heel of Eli Kendall's stick. Unfortunately, that pass does not connect. Tricky stick handling by Mitch Bailey. And unfortunately, a firm hit delivered by the Kings defense leaves Bailey down, and the Kings at the neutral zone firing the puck around for 27 Saavedra. And now G with a chance tosses it back. That pass not made, and a big hit between Mitch Bailey and Corey Jew. And I guess the goalie has decided to leap over the boards for a 6-on. Attempting to avoid a too many men on the ice penalty, a aware Derek Cox making a quick sprint for his own bench there. And a 2-minute penalty, a 2-minute minor assessed to Mitch Bailey following that large open ice hit. I would imagine that was a roughing call. Although I will admit, that was a tripping call, I'm being informed. It's good I have people in my ear because there's not much between the ears. That pass held at the point by the Kings and covered by DeVries. Shot on and covered. We'll get a quick review of what led to that certainly would, yep. And that draw one back by the Vipers, but an aggressive Picab creates an opportunity there for the Kings. It's shot up and out by Solaski. And no delayed penalty called. The Kings continue looking for a seam here to take a shot at DeVries. That one bounces up and off the ice, comes into Tilligast, and we'll have a change as we wait to see the call.
Interesting to see the Kings fired up tonight. Trev, definitely a much different game than we saw last night with the Vipers going up. I mean, at this point in the first, they were up, what, 3 or 4 goals last night?
They were up at least 3, possibly more than 4, actually. I know we ended the first period up 6, and that was certainly a different atmosphere down on the ice. The play out of the Sin City Kings has been on a whole different level, and as I was speculating yesterday, you wonder if those bus legs catching up to them, you wonder if it was the altitude.
Certainly. Many factors at play here. One of the highest rinks in North America, so interesting to see how different the Kings are playing tonight. I'm loving the game so far. They're super physical, really good hockey.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic game so far. I think the Kings have decided they need to play a little bit more physical with how thin their bench is over there.
That's for sure, yep.
And I think their goal is not to, not to be unsportsmanlike or not to hurt anyone, but I think it's to impose themselves early in this first period here where it really does matter. And psychologically going into the locker room with one or none and having a pretty even. Oh, and Svoboda quickly away. Draws the Vipers even.
Svoboda moving so fast on his feet there. He got that puck and just accelerated like it was no one's business. He had the guy beat before he was even in the zone. Great finish.
Absolutely flew through the neutral, and just what a fantastic finish. Getting to rewatch that up here, and that draw is won back by the Kings, although not without contest by Solaski again, and it dribbles back to Mitch Bailey. Looks like number 2 is Jonah Hawkins, I'm being told. I have number 12 as Jonah Hawkins. I certainly believe you.
Saw Bailey go down there behind the net. Looks like he was holding his knee. I hope he's all right. Oh, and he's looking for blood.
It looks like he's all right.
That's for sure. I tell you what, Bailey's not the kind of guy you mess with. That's for sure.
No, tough gentleman. And the seconds for Svoboda within the series of about 45 seconds there. Beautiful, beautiful finish again. Set up wonderfully by Garrett Bailey. Just don't see many answers that quickly. Hope the Kings are here for the long game. The fans are certainly excited. They love a good hockey game on a Saturday night, as do we all. That draw won back by the Vipers, tossed on by Fran Simone, and tossed out of the end. Going the other way quickly, a 2 on 2, but DeVries comes away clean. I'm not even sure that they have marked that a shot on goal.
I think that one went just wide, Trev. Bit of a lucky break there. I'm not sure DuVray was over just fast enough on that one, so maybe a bit of a lucky break for the Vipes there.
And luck can only carry you so far as the Kings go on the attack again on the Vipers' end. Pitched up the end boards and looking for a seam pass, but no Viper able to control. That's Joe Day skating out hard in front of the puck there. And Andrew Rohde finally able to settle it down up to Eli Kendall. Across the neutral, Kendall will cycle back to allow the Vipers a quick change here. And Kendall gets Tilligast and Battenberg out with him. That puck recovered by number 27, Saavedra. Pitched across the neutral into the Vipers' end, and it's Battenberg stick handling under pressure in his own end. And he pitches it up to just about mid-ice, and it's carried on by Battenberg. Pitched up, luckily not picked off from Scanlon. And a hard pass from Scanlon connects with Tilligast. Tilly behind the net, looking for another one. Connects with Kendall. Kendall back to Battenberg.
Wow.
Battenberg to
Wow.
Tilly. Beautiful combo there. Just working the cycle. Absolutely beautiful.
Such great possession there from the Vipers. But, I mean, the Kings are playing them. They're playing them hard. They're playing them physical. And the Vipers were just absolutely possessing the zone there. Love to see them capitalize on that. That was really, really good offense there from the Vipers.
Great patient play by the Vipers there. They had the opportunity a few times, took a couple shots, and regathered when necessary, but didn't overcommit, which I like to see. And that, a 50-50 face-off. Asensio winds up on the ice as the Kings wind up in the Vipers zone, and quickly going the other way, Luke Noble back to Asensio. Asensio fires one on the pads of Cox, and it bounces off the knees. Not settled down, just sent around the end a couple of times, and Asensio comes away with it after a quick scrum, flicks one off Cox. And a good feed from Rhodey for Noble.
Wow.
Fantastic follow-up opportunity for Mike Ivory there. And Ivory battles it out through the neutral, flicks it back in, and Vipers will get a quick change here. Mitch Bailey, fresh legs, another collision on the ice. He and a 28, Bo Boatwright coming together. I believe both responsible for a good number of the penalty minutes last night.
I will say Mitchie will be looking for blood after that one. Either a goal or a hit. It'll be one of the two this shift.
And he is dedicated. I would not want to let him have the puck this deep, but he will always help a teammate out. Great feed to G there, turned away by the netminder for Sin City.
Is that Cox in net for the Kings?
That is Derek Cox.
Yeah, playing out of his mind right now. I will say, absolutely standing on his head to keep the Kings in the game right now.
Doing an absolutely fantastic job, and only just over 15.5 minutes elapsed. Looks like Cox has lost his stick in a little bit of a tussle there. Mitch Bailey having some words. I'm sure they're discussing Zen poetry and stoicism.
Yep.
I know them both. I know Mitchie. Definitely a couple of his favorite reading topics.
For sure. Novels that he's reading in his book club right now. The usual stuff you hear on the ice.
Absolutely. The boys are indeed philosophers in one way or another in most cases. Svoboda carries onto the zone and leaves it behind for Battenberg. Battenberg behind the cage. And Svoboda delivers a seam pass that does not connect. Tossed between Spence Leonard and Solaski, now in. Now Vipers on the offense, but cannot control it in the Sin City end. Sin City coming the other way, and Tilligas picking 32's pocket for the opportunity. Feeds Eli Kendall. Kendall gets his stick held up, just a good bit of defense, and a delayed call there. We're coming back to the dot.
Kings definitely looking like they're feeling the pressure a little bit now here in the first. I will say Vipers came out looking a little drowsy, but it definitely seems as they've woken up now. Kings definitely starting to feel the pressure, icing it, all that stuff. Some turnovers on the blue line that you never want to see as a defenseman. So it'll be interesting to see if they can wake up here these last 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the first period.
They've done a fantastic job to fight this hard this far, so we'll see who comes away with this. Asensio and Chaney, who was responsible for many of the chances, is tossed out of the circle. It comes out back from Asensio in another offensive zone of face-off coming here for the Vipers. The fans are loving it. Let's go Vipers chant from the crowd. 17 shots to 4 in favor of the Vipers. You'll love to see that number. That's, again, we're averaging about a shot a minute here, so Cox clearly putting on quite the performance to keep Cincy even this close in the game.
And the Vipers will possess here. It was interesting to see those multiple ices from the Kings there. We do play NHL rules, so they're not allowed to change if they ice it. I'm wondering they're just taking the time in between face-offs to get a change there to rest the legs. But that was interesting.
It certainly looks like it with the tenacity with which they skated for the bench there. They were definitely needed fresh legs on the ice, and both sides with some fresh legs out now. And the Kings able to possess it in their own zone, carrying on through the neutral zone. Scanlon looks for a little poke check on Corey Jew, number 12. And Luke Noble attempts to push it up the boards. Finds a bit of resistance with Saavedra, pardon. And dumped in for fresh legs and a change on the Vipers side. Rolled by the Kings, looking for a big cross ice pass all the way across the neutral zone there. Does not connect. All the way around the end boards for Andrew Rohde. Mike, part of the, that's Colton Fransimone. Skating hard for it, but now coming out of the corner with some speed is Bernstein. Burning with a nice feed for Fransimone, and it's finished by Rohde. 4-1 Vipers with just under a minute and a half remaining in this first period.
Similar to a lot of goals we saw last night, Trevor, that presence in front of the net is really dangerous.
Absolutely, just watching that on replay there, and that positioning and that timing by the Vipers was absolutely fantastic. They're getting some chemistry together as a line again here. Recently put together, Joe Day.
And here we go.
And it won't be Day, it'll be Fransimone and 28, Bo Boatwright. Bo Boatwright was and a good Tilly to begin with. Both tie up, a bit of a grapple. And Boatwright delivering the majority of the low strikes. Hard to tell how effectual those were.
And the boys are loving it. Looks like Fransimone might be leaking pretty good.
Oh, those looked like, absolutely looks like Fransimone's leaking based upon the jersey of Boatwright. And Boatwright is asked to head to the locker room.
Looks like he might just be getting cleaned up after that one. There's
I think that might be the case. I believe he's asked to head to the locker room to get some cotton shoved in his nose, and I don't think I didn't see that many big scrapes on him.
I was a little curious. I thought it was going to be Fransimone that was leaking after that one, but it looked like it was the Kings player that had a majority of the blood coming out. So interesting to see how that went down. Great tilt there. I love that in the first period. Really setting the energy for the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and as soon as the puck was dropped, you knew that was coming. Clearly a little agreement was had between puck drops there, and just quick ice cleanup conducted by the refereeing crew, but a very, very good fight. The fans loved it. The barn is electric. You can feel the energy here. It is an absolutely amazing night to be at the Steve. Just a few seconds separating that goal and where the clock stands now. And it's tough to see where Fransimone gets.
I'm looking back there.
But those drips look to be coming from Bo Boatwright more than they are from
definitely looked like
Fransimone.
Yeah, definitely looked like Boatwright kind of got the worst end of the stick there. It's not too sure when that happened, but Fransimone coming away looking untouched, to be honest with you.
Pretty clean on the replay that we have up here, that we have access to in the booth, which is pretty similar to the one you can find at home by simply clicking that rewind button. You can watch it again. It's our version of instant replay, folks. But it does work out fantastically, and that is a quick cleanup. The ice is clear, and the draw is won back by Mitch Bailey. And that's Bernstein slotting it up to Mitch Bailey. Mitch Bailey taking the zones, feeding it back to Svoboda. Svoboda out front, looking for the pass from Bailey. They do not connect. Big shot.
Big shot and a bigger save. Cox once again standing on his head. Looked like that one caught him up high. Really impressive to see if he got an eye on that puck with all the screen that was going on there.
It looked like it caught him pretty square in the mask.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely might be ringing and stinging after that one just a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. After a heater like that coming off the point, and we're looking at who's going out, who's getting out.
Looks like we just added a couple seconds to the clock there. I think our guys in the booth maybe let it run just a little longer on that last one.
Okay, well, fantastic to have that corrected. Glad they are keeping a close eye on that. That draw now controlled by the Vipers. Vipers on the attack. A shot from Mitch Bailey. Quick wrister. Let's go with just under a minute remaining in the first. That trickles out to Bernstein at the point. Looks for one, does not find a lane, flips it in, winds up behind the net, almost off on the stick of G with a fantastic angle, but no puck. An unfortunate circumstance, certainly, but you just have to position yourself in the right spot, and eventually that time will come. Garrett Bailey knows that.
Definitely a guy who knows to be in the right place at the right time. Looks like he just kind of got that one off the skate there. Couldn't quite possess the puck, but that was definitely a dangerous opportunity.
And Vipers' first line out to close out this first period. One back by Battenberg to Kendall. Kendall flips it back. And controlled in the corner by no one yet. A little scrum. Battenberg is pushed off it. It's held there by Matt Broman.
Kings will look to kill these last couple seconds of the period, and they will.
And they will go in with only a 3-goal deficit, and things are heating up after the buzzer here in Breckenridge.
Looks like Kendall was a little unhappy on that one, maybe giving some tugs on the jersey.
I've never known Kendall to do that. I'm sure he was just getting his attention. The music in this barn is a little loud this evening. You know, Kendall, like I was saying, he listens to Stoicism books. They're very stoic gentlemen. He definitely wouldn't have done that without cause. And the fans wait to see if there's any after the buzzer action, and we do not have any.
Looks like we got Fran Simone there standing behind the glass there. So glad to see him up and at him. Looks like he's doing well after that tilt.
Fantastic to see him down there. Fantastic to see Fran Simone meeting his teammates as they make their way down the tunnel. I do not see a lick of blood on him at this time. Getting a little bounce out of Kilpfer there, the backup goalie for the evening. Giving Fran Simone a big hug as he goes by. It's a happy goalie.
Tell you what, the boys were looking electric after that tilt ended. Fran Simone's not the kind of guy to drop him super often, so when he does, it's special. Love to see the boys hyping him up.
Absolutely, and from our vantage point, not a bit of blood coming down that face, and
definitely
out of that training room very quickly. I'm not sure they had anything to treat, so I think he might have deprived the training staff of a treatment opportunity there. But aside from that, I'm sure that they were glad to see that he is healthy and happy after that tilt that, as you say, absolutely electric, and setting the tone for the barn, hopefully setting the tone for these next two periods. I'd like to do a quick shout out to Andrea from Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us this evening. Happy birthday. We are honored that you've come so far to come and watch Vipers Hockey live. Vipers Hockey, extends nationwide and even worldwide. We have some fans as far away as Great Britain. So welcome, Angela, and happy birthday.
And Connor, thanks for tuning in, as always.
Absolutely. And thank you to all of our other fantastic viewers for joining us this evening. We'll be back in just under 15 minutes or so now. Right now, let's have a quick word from our sponsor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're encountering a couple technical difficulties with that video from our sponsor. That is the one. Let's see if we can get it to load. And
I didn't realize the gravity of the impact it was going to have on the community. If I didn't have hockey, I don't know what else I'd do.
Nothing else in the world matters. When I come to the rink, it's just hockey. I don't have to worry about work, anything, right?
Hockey taught me everything that I needed to know about just being a good teammate and being a hardworking person. And
hockey to me is just a sense of freedom and passion and camaraderie.
Typical night out for us, hockey, hockey, hockey.
And not being afraid of that physical aspect of life and realizing that you're not super fragile and that's okay.
I went to the first ever Viper game.
Oh, there we go.
It's really in between periods where you take a step back and you're like, oh my gosh, there are like 800 people here. This is crazy.
It really feels like a community event. People come out now as it's a Breckenridge event on a Friday, Saturday night.
Why did I do it? Well, the truth is, I just want to play good hockey again. It was really the
Viper fans, an electric attitude in Breckenridge this Saturday night. Hopefully the Kings got some fresh legs underneath them. The gentleman headed for our penalty suite. He's giving a thumbs up to some of his fellow box contenders there, and that'll be, let's see, we were able to get an updated roster, so hopefully that should solve some of these identification issues. Jonah Huggins was indeed in number 2. I apologize. As I say, the first copy they handed me, he's got him in 12, and that just isn't the case. He is indeed in 2,
So it looks like we're doing 5-on-5 coincidentals for whatever that scrum was at the end of the first. So 5-on-5 hockey, we have 11 for the Kings, and I can't quite get the number off the Vipers player in our box, but they're going to be probably 2-minute coincidental for roughing. So they'll be out at 18 and a whistle on that. But right now we're playing 5-on-5 hockey here in the second period, live from the Steve.
Fantastic. Thanks for the update, Ollie.
Correction, those are our fighters from the last period. So that was that like 17 or 18 minutes into the first period there. So they'll probably be out at 3 or 4 in a whistle on those guys for the coincidentals for the fight.
Oh, so Colton and Simone is out. They're both, everybody has made their way to the box.
Looks like it.
Fantastic news. We'd love to see that. A little bit of Vipers pressure down in the Kings' end to start this third period. Scanlon looking for Hawkins, and that is gathered up by Battenberg, who shoots it across to Scanlon, up ice to Kendall. Kendall leaves it for Tilligast. Tilligast just high over the crossbar. Battenberg recovers at the mid-boards, and that's tossed in front for Scanlon. Tilligast battling hard, throws it out of to the point for 25. That's Snides. Snides is wearing 25 tonight. Well, that is why that does not look like Sinky. That's Snyder.
Yeah. Quick update, the Kings player 11, I believe that's Rollins. I could be mistaken, but I think he had a visor on before the fight, and we're seeing him wearing a cage now.
I'm not sure. I think that was Bo Boatwright that tied up with Colton Francois.
Interesting.
So that may just be another King serving that penalty at the moment.
Could be. He could be out. I'm not too sure what's going on, but yeah, we have at least one Vipers player serving and one Kings player serving. I believe it's for that fight. because both those guys just went to the locker rooms after there. But we only had 2 minutes left in the period, so it would make sense that they didn't come back. And yeah, it's our fighter for the Vipers. So it's possible that we have someone else from the Kings serving. Maybe that guy needs some stitches, needing whatever else. I'm not too sure what he's got going on, but hopefully we'll see him come back to the game soon.
And I just didn't see enough clean linen on that jersey for the Kings player as he was skating over.
That's for sure.
For me to think that was the same gentleman that one knocked on. And again, 15 is unlisted, but I believe that's and Andrew Rohde with a beautiful little chance there, puts it right into the chest of the Kings netminder. That's Derek Cox this evening. And we will have an offensive zone face-off coming up here. Mitch Bailey joined by Dylan Svoboda and Garrett Bailey. The Bailey line is out. Spence Lennard just misses that with the tape, but it's gathered up by Bailey and shot on, and gathered up again by Bailey. Back to Bailey, and a shot by Bailey. And Lennard pitches it back in for Svoboda. Mitch on the chase. Scanlon anchoring the point. Tosses it back up to Svoboda. Svoboda looking for another one. Does not come away with it. Scanlon does not get the chance. Gets the pass off instead.
Wow.
For Mitch Bailey. And a little bit of free lumber on the ice. Quickly coming the other way at Brady DeVries.
Once again, Cox just absolutely standing on his head to keep the Kings in this game.
Absolutely.
Some really, really good playing from him tonight.
32 shots on net. Just 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes into this second period. And Mitch Bailey putting a big hit on, I can't see that sweater number, a couple incidental shoves after. That will be 95. That's Cole McCrossan. Cole was looking for the penalty on Mitch Bailey, but does not get it. We're going to inquire down in the box and see if that is indeed the same fighter, if he just has swapped his, and it looks like he might have swapped his jersey. Who knows? But anyway, in either event, we got Battenberg up to the dot to take the draw. We got Tilligast on the left wing, Eli Kendall on the right. Jonah Hawkins on right defense, and Bernstein left defense for this line.
Quick update with our penalties. It is the same fighter for the Kings. They switched his number because there was too much blood on his penny.
Okay. Oh, I didn't think they had brought in that many copies of that number, so now we have a fresh number 11 apparently.
Yep, so that's going to be the same fighter from earlier. I believe they're out in about 40 seconds in a whistle. So we'll see these guys out of the box soon and ready to go.
Well, some fantastic energy from both sides coming out of the locker room here into the second. Bernstein with a wonderful goal that just sneaks past and finds the back of the net beyond Derek Cox. And Cox on one knee looking up at the spotlight. Don't go into the light, buddy. Don't go into it. No! He's skating towards it, folks. It's on the second floor. We don't think he can reach it. We're pretty sure it's going to be okay. He looks a little lost. But that brings the Vipers' lead to 4. That's 5-1. 5 goals to the Vipers, 1 to the Kings so far this evening. That puck carried up across the neutral zone by Jonah Hawkins. Hawkins behind the net, looks for the seam pass, bounces it off the stick of the Kings defender. And I did not see you go ahead with that.
Wow,
Ollie.
Asensio just absolutely into him. Looks like they might be taking the trip on it. We'll see what happens here, but absolutely just laying the hip against the boards there. It's not too common that you see a hip check like that in the modern game. That was pretty intense.
Let's see it on the, oh, wow. I'm not even sure he used the boards there on that angle, but he certainly has left him on the ice. The trainer is making their way over to ensure that the player down on the ice is okay. That looks to be number 12.
I think it's 12. Yeah, I think it's 12 for the Kings. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, that's
pretty intense hit there.
That's Corey Jew. He's one of their starters. He's been fantastic in setting up some of their chances on Brady DeVries this evening, keeping the attack alive for the Kings. Looks like he definitely got his bell rung. He folded in half over Asensio's back, and he is up, skating on it with a little bit of assistance there, but fantastic to see taps from the Vipers bench.
Good to see him up and moving there. I'm not sure, but I think that was a clean hit. I don't think there's going to be a call on the play there. I think 12 just went down a little awkward there. I mean, you hate to see it, but it is part of the game. Looks like he's not going to the locker room.
Coming off.
Yeah, he's not going to the locker room or anything like that. He's just sitting down the bench. So hopefully, rest his legs for a second, get his bearings back, and he'll be back for the rest of the game. Definitely a real presence on the ice. So I know the Kings will be missing him.
Yeah, certainly possible to get your bell rung with a hit like that, just coming down blind on the ice backwards. That draw won by the Vipers. Back to Jonah Hawkins, and a big hit between Spence Lennard and 89. That's Jackson Wilson. And shot on. I believe that was Ivory who got a shot on. Oh, and up and near the visor of Asensio.
I think it was Asensio with that original shot into the zone. He's been such a presence on the ice tonight, absolutely skating his heart out. That hit that we just saw was also Asensio. He is everywhere tonight, and I mean, I love to see the energy out of him.
He's been skating hard, working hard. Absolutely love to see it. Absolutely. And nice pass from Noble up to Asensio, and a rare turnover at the blue line. Spence Lennard has to guard one, and Klinke sends it just over the head of Brady DeVries. Solaski coming the other way. And down the boards, fought for, pitched across the blue line of the Kings zone. It's Jonah Hawkins who came away with it there. Vipers looking to set up a cycle. Kings looking for anything to clear it out of their zone at this moment. Andrew Rohde just jumps his blade, and it trickles across the neutral zone with the assistance of 27. And Scanlon has his pocket picked by 52 coming the other way. A hard shot off the knee of DeVries. And now we got the Vipers coming the other way. Scanlon puts one on net. And that goes up and comes down, and we got Jonah Hawkins taking it into the zone again. Hard shot from Hawkins there, wide right. Hawkins flips it back into the zone.
Tell you what, it looks like the Vipes just wanted more. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, boy. Just stellar defense there. The Vipes are just moving their feet a lot more than the Kings are. I'm sure they're feeling the altitude, but it's just, the Vipes just want it more. Plain and simple. They're moving their feet harder.
Svoboda trying to deke two of them. Does not get past the second Kings defenseman. But looking to establish the zone, Jake Bernstein steps up to the point against a much bigger, I believe that's Peacock, but I'd have to check in. G with a wonderful chance there. The post of the Kings net just loose, and that is whistled dead. Make sure that that net is securely on its pegs. And I am going to double check, see if I can find the name of that. Of number 15. Again, unlisted on one of our score sheets, but I do believe I have number 15.
Tilly with a quick shot there off the draw.
And across the neutral zone, Tilly picks it up in the back. Eli putting a little bit of moderation on that puck for Tilligas to gather.
Wow.
Tilligas leaves it behind for Battenberg. Battenberg for Kendall. Kendall for Battenberg. Battenberg slings one on just wide. Through the corner, fought hard by Kendall. Up to Tilligas. Tilligas pitches it over to Bernstein. And behind the net, attacking swiftly, that's Kendall. Kendall takes a little shot to the face on that one, it looked like, but a lot of things get fair down that deep in the defensive end. That's gathered up with Tilligas looking to gain some speed for the attack, and no, he's going to pass it up to Kendall. Kendall fires one on, and that up and out of play, and Kendall tying up with 95, giving 95 Cole McCrossin a good shove, and I'm thinking Cole just caught the back of his own cage there and went down hard.
Looks like Kendall's probably going to be going for that one. I don't think he's going to get away with that one.
I don't think that was clean. I don't think that can be justified too easily. Eli Kendall is the league leader in points, but he's also one of the contenders for the top number of penalty minutes served. This is going to put his time closer to an hour served this season. That'll put him up around 55 minutes.
Yeah, so Kendall's going to take a seat there for 2 minutes for the rough. Probably flip an open novel, get some light reading in while he's in the box.
Probably an audiobook. Oh, wow. Big one up and off the ceiling. Comes down into the Kings bench and back onto the ice. Another face-off coming in the defensive zone for the Vipers. We'll change circles as that's where that puck bounced out against the ceiling.
Yeah, I lost that one.
And Asensio does not come away with that one. Instead, the Kings control in the Vipers zone. And just over the blue line, they'll have to touch up. And that is a long skate when you're used to Vegas altitudes. Only about 9 minutes elapsed here, and it seems some of that recovery that we were seeing out of the Kings side has waned here with the closer we get to the midpoint of this hockey game. Shot on by 32, that's Broman, turned away expertly by DeVries. Both sides will change as the Kings gather the puck behind their own net. Little saucer pass attempted there from Whittle. Connects with the blade of...
It's dangerous.
Indeed, we're looking for some cover up by DeVries, and he gets it under his blocker side. Not often you get to see the goalie cover blocker side just to shut play down, but with the loose puck dribbling around the edge of that cage, I do not blame him one bit for reaching in there and stopping play.
Definitely, whatever does the trick. Bit of a weird bounce off the boards there.
And chunked out of the zone by Selaski, but possession maintained by the Kings in the neutral zone. Kings looking to regroup. They do not, as Selaski punches it on and proceeds with an aggressive forecheck.
It's a rough turnover as the Kings there. I mean, especially with only 20 seconds left in that power play, that's the times that they really need to be, capitalizing on those attempts, and they're just some sloppy turnovers here and there.
Certainly, but
and we're even.
Definitely some nasty turnovers in front of the Breckenridge Vipers net this game as well. So back to even strength we go, and Kendall puck handles through the Vipers zone. and slings it up across the neutral zone to Telegas. Telegas puts one on Cox.
Another stellar save there from him. Tilly getting fancy with it, with the behind the back, through the legs.
Absolutely, Tilly can get fancy like that. Oh, and a bouncing puck is settled down by Sin City in the Breckenridge end. Now Battenberg setting a pick with his own cage, gonna toss it off to Spence Lennard. Lennard up to Tilly. Tilly back to Battenberg. Battenberg drops it off for Kendall. Kendall rips one off the blocker of Cox. And that is finally settled down by Tilly. Slings it to Battenberg. Fires it across the ice to Bunnie. Bunnie behind the net to Tilly. Tilly with a fantastic little seam pass and opportunity for Kendall there. And some more danger for the Kings is diffused as they find the puck on their own stick quickly through the neutral zone. And Lennard and Bunnie quickly shutting that down. Now going the other way quickly is Alec Asensio. Fires one into the logo of the Kings keeper, Cox.
Love that from Asensio. He has such a good way of getting open on the ice and moving his feet. Really solid offense there.
Absolutely. He's got such a great speed, acceleration, and knowledge of where his support is on the ice, and that just allows for some fantastic playmaking.
I tell you what, not the biggest guy on the ice, but definitely a weapon.
Absolutely. A lot of heart there. Fantastic face-offsman. And even when he is not at the dot, he is looking to capitalize on the opportunity. That puck loose along the corner boards, and it is finally settled down by Sin City one-on-one. Big shot up off the blade of Jonah Hawkins and into the netting. 7:48 left in this second period. That's Prekop, 15, winning back the draw and tossing one on DeVries' backhand. Just gets over his head. It's gathered up by Noble. Noble up to Ivory. Ivory on attack. Noble behind to the defenseman. Ivory puts one on, and it just doesn't have enough. It winds up loose, and Asensio trying to make his own luck at the center dot, and Scanlon quickly coming into the zone, looks to deliver an off-speed pass and a wonderful chance for Luke Noble. Right spot, didn't quite get the timing there, but that's all good. And that pass now settled down and skated quickly across the neutral zone by Channing. Channing and Prekop working it in the Vipers' end, supported by 25. Oh, and slung on DeVries wide. Looks like it's hitting the edge of his cage. And through the middle, dumped on by the Vipers, and we'll get a defensive Vipers change. Deep in the corner, some shoving and loose lumber, and the pile on is Brent Simone in the corner. And a good bit of restraint being applied by both sides here. A Viper down on the ice, that's Rohde. Andrew Rohde getting up, wearing his bucket in a bit of an odd manner, drops it on the ice to have a discussion.
For sure, we're gonna see someone go here for sure. I saw that hand up in the air. Not entirely sure what's going on or who's going. If I had to imagine, it's probably coincidentals. Usually is in a game like this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In a game like this, we tend to see coincidentals. There was a big pile on down at the boards. Unfortunately, right in the worst spot for me to take a view, and that is 32 coming to join us in the sin bin. That's Matt Broman on the Sin City Kings side. And he is joining us for looks like a 2-minute minor, but we'll find out here shortly.
So like I said, looks like we're going to be doing coincidentals, probably just rough. So it looks like we're still going to be 5-on-5 here, I would imagine.
Looks like that's what it'll stay. Now, Audie, I can see 32 on our side, or on the Kings side. Who do we have in the box?
55 for the Vipers.
That's Andrew Rohde,
yes,
who looks to be departing the box now.
I wonder.
He may have reached his quotient.
I think that's his first one of the night, isn't it?
I thought so, but
I don't think he's
I don't
gone.
know.
Maybe an equipment issue or something like that, but they've only got 2s on the board right now. So I don't think he can't even be sent.
He couldn't be over.
No,
so,
he could not even be sent from the game with a 2.
Pass in the seam for
even
the
if he's
Kings in the Vipers' end. And a big hit leveled by Leonard in the corner, but does not tend to the puck. And another big shove from Leonard, tying up.
Things are turning up here on the Steve. I'll be honest, I thought I was gonna see a call after that one. I definitely looked a little bit on the numbers there. Interesting to see that. Things are heating up rapidly in the Steve.
They are carried on by Solaski. Drop pass for G. G across the seam for Mitch Bailey. And Mitch Bailey lighting the lamp here in the Steve. Vipers now lead 6-1 here in the second. Just looking to see who that was assisted by.
That was G, I think, with the assist there. Really just gorgeous, just leaving it there, back door for him.
Yep. That's going to be Garrett Bailey getting the assist to Mitch Bailey. The Bailey line, dangerous as always. That face-off, sort of 50-50 between Kendall and his Kings partner, but the Vipers in the Kings end, and a popped-up puck is caught in the glove of Cox.
Wild bounce there. Cox seeing the puck really, really well tonight. Still, I mean, even though, we're looking at a 6-1 score, I will say he has been playing exceptionally. 40 saves on the night, and we still are not even in the third period. So really impressive game from him so far tonight.
Cox standing on his head. That save won back by the Kings and gloved over by Cox. So we'll have another offensive zone faceoff coming here for the Breck Vipers. That one controlled by the Vipers. Tilligas pestered across the blue line, looking to regroup. He circles in his own zone and fires up to Bernstein. Bernstein with a little bit of company back behind the net, looks to around the end boards, and it's back to Tilligas. Tilligas with a burst of speed across the blue line is put down onto the ice, but that does not slow Kendall with the puck, and the Vipers look to establish the cycle.
Little cheeky there. That looked like a Michigan attempt from Kendall there. That's actually the second one of the night. I'm not sure if he caught it or not, but there was actually a Michigan attempt about 5 minutes into the first as well.
He is a sneaky little guy. Oh, and a fantastic chance for Jake Bernstein there in front of the net. Waiting to be fed it, and looks like he might have caught in a stick. No, looks like he lost his mouth guard, and we're going for icing.
Looks like our coincidentals are going to be done. Both those guys are turning to the ice 5-on-5 as it was prior, but now everyone's back on the ice.
And I'm sure the Kings will be happy to have Broman back on their bench. He's been an important playmaker, and with a thin bench, it's heating up between Scanlon and number 27. That's Aziz Savidra. Just a little jersey tugging, but I would certainly not choose Derek Scanlon for Attili. Talk about having heart. Scanlon's got heart, he's got weight, he's got reach, and I know he's got the strength to go there. And that face-off won by the Vipers popped up into the netting. And we will have another offensive zone face-off coming up here
Definitely. Stripes shutting that one down pretty fast. I wonder if they're going to try and work on tightening this game up a little bit. Randy Gill, our referee here on the ice, was not looking too happy with that one. He shut that one down pretty quick. So it'll be interesting to see if they tighten up this game at all or if it's going to stay as physical.
Well, that draw one back to Jonah Hawkins by Luke Noble, and Hawkins just buries it past Cox. And Cox sees the light again, swims towards it, swims away. Good. We need him for at least another 25 minutes or so on the clock. But Vipers now up 7-1, a 6-point lead. Familiar territory from last night, but certainly not time to get complacent.
Times like this, you wonder whether the Kings are going to start thinking about using their backup goalie. I mean, Cox is absolutely still on his head, but when it gets to a certain score, there's definitely a mental aspect to goalkeeping.
Absolutely. Although they did not make that pull last night when they reached that point and were shut down for icing here. We're going back to the Vipers' end.
Personally, I definitely wouldn't pull Cox. I mean, he's been playing on his head, but definitely just interesting to see that. I mean, 7 goals is frustrating. No matter what, shots are looking like, no matter what your defense is doing, 7 goals is frustrating.
Absolutely. Whether it's for the goalie or for the bench, it's definitely a frustrating moment, but you're absolutely right. He's been playing lights out.
Yeah.
And that puck trickles just over the line, so we'll come out to the neutral zone for a neutral zone face-off between Colton Franc-Simon and 12, that's Corey Jew. And that face-off won by Franc-Simon back to Hawkins. Hawkins through the neutral zone, attempts to flick it past and winds up passing back to Derek Scanlon. Scanlon.
Cox just headbutting that. Cox just headbutted that puck out of the air. Absolutely fearless play.
I think he's gotten a couple off the mask so far this game. A dangerous play deep in Viper territory. Brady DeVries looking to shut down his own team there. So, and a quick regroup. We got Garrett Bailey holding on to it, dumps it off to Scanlon. Scanlon skates it up into the neutral zone. A little bank pass for G. G accelerates in, and that puck up and off the stick of number 11, Jessen Rawlings, to save Cox from yet another stop. And that's the number that isn't shown between the 50 shots accrued on goal is the number that have been turned aside, those that didn't actually make it on net, and that number is a lot higher. So he has probably stared down the barrel of 70 shots at minimum tonight, and that's another one.
Definitely creeping up about 70. Now looking at 71. I'll tell you what, it's really impressive to see G. I mean, working just in his forte there. I will say G, when it comes to just stick handling and puck possession in close quarters, there's no one else in the league like it. We saw right there on the line, 3 guys on him. He just managed to get through all 3 of them, making it look effortless.
Absolutely, and face-off there won by Mitch, back to Garrett, back to G, and unfortunately, the possession disrupted at the blue line and skated on firmly by the Kings. And now Mitch Bailey, both Baileys going the other way. And a little drop pass there. Does not wind up on the stick of either. Oh my, and a shoving contest in front of the net, but no end to play down in the Kings end. The Kings settled that puck down and skated across the Vipers' blue line. Leonard setting up a bit of a wall there for Wilson. And that puck now in the hands of Svoboda. Svoboda dumps it off to G at the Vipers' blue line, and that pass from Leonard is broken up by Chaney. Now a chance for Svoboda, looks to come around the net for G. G in the slot, cannot, gets his pocket picked, and we're going the other way once more, and a big shot. Line. And does not find its way to DeVries to tend. Instead, Rick Battenberg catches it in the lower back and coughs that one up. Quick poke check by Tyler Snyder there. Snyder's looking good in his.
Tell you what, if I were a Kings player, I'd be happy to see them making that contact in front of the net there. That's where the Vipers have been most lethal this weekend, is those rebounds and those bounces in front of the net. So definitely good to see them, just clearing out the front of the net as quick as they can there.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I was saying, Snyder's looking great on his first night skating this weekend. And a quick Vipers possession through the neutral zone up to Ivory, drops it back to Noble. Noble leaves it, and a little miscommunication, I am guessing, but a sense of where he needs to be to fend off that 2-on-1 rush. Just great hockey IQ, and as we were saying before, knows the situational awareness is really unmatched. And now that held by Bernstein and saucered across to Snyder. Snyder coming across hard into the bench of the Kings, and now brought on by Noble. Ascenso trying to fight through traffic, does not get there. Scanlon quickly back to the puck, and on an attempted seam pass to Ivory, they do not connect. And that puck now in the Vipers' end, settled down by number 11, Rawlings.
Great eat there from Asensio on the point. I'll tell you what, Trev, I could be imagining things, but it seems like the Kings are waking up a little bit.
Absolutely, and with that one in the 5-hole, gosh, that is gonna be a goal right there. It trickled in right between Brady DeVries' legs, and then finished off by, I believe that was 26 that managed to swat in behind him.
With just 0.7 seconds left in the second there, poking that one in, as it was kind of left on the doorstep there by DeVries.
It just didn't have enough to get past him the first time, and seems not to have occurred to him that that's where it could have been left. I understand at the end of the period you got some rough ice there. The pucks slow down pretty quick and are a little funky at times, but yeah, that's got to be rough on DeVries headed into this second intermission. He has been playing absolutely fantastic for the Vipers, and you hate to see him go into the locker room down the tunnel like that. And as you say, with just 0.7 seconds left, but an electric second period.
I tell you what, Trev, those last couple minutes of the second period there, the Kings were really looking quite awake. I mean, definitely the best they've looked all night, except for maybe the first minute of the game there. A couple really good defensive shutdowns, some really good sticks. I saw in particular 89 on the way into the Vipers' offensive zone. He got a stick lift and stole that puck, shut it down on the blue line. Really, really solid defensive maneuvers there from the Kings. So interesting to see how these guys come out of the how these guys come out into the third period. I tell you what, crazier things than 5 goals in a period have happened before. So you never know what's going to happen. We could have a hockey game in our hands.
We've seen him in the Steve happen this season, not this year even, not even just this season.
Yep,
so
definitely.
Crazier comebacks have certainly occurred, and I would say that absolutely you're correct. The Kings were playing lights out at the beginning of this period. They looked like they had gotten their 5-hour energies. They were kicking in from between the first and second, and then a little bit of steam lost midway through that period.
Certainly.
Vipers able to capitalize a couple times, but Kings, again, putting themselves on the board and really not threatening the Vipers' lead quite yet, but definitely putting some past that will make DeVries think hard and hopefully not give DeVries too many nasty little thoughts to marinate on in the back of his head, because he has been playing a lights-out game, as has Cox. Cox has kept
I tell you what,
Kings
just
in it.
outstanding goaltending from both sides tonight. It's really just been a battle of goalies at this point in time. I will say Vipers definitely possessing a lot better in the offensive zone. up until those last couple minutes there in the second. I mean, honestly, I saw a bit of the tides changing, so it'll be really interesting to see how these guys come out of the gate and into the final period of the night.
Yeah, this last period set up to be some exciting hockey. We'll be taking a break here momentarily when they finish up with Chuck-a-Puck. It's a fan favorite that's occurring down on the ice. And that fan favorite is the chance to take home authentic signed Vipers merchandise for the low, low cost of some Chuck-a-Pucks. But if you are watching at home and would like some of that merch for yourselves, you can head on over to breckvipers.com. And I'm informed we do have worldwide shipping, so wherever you are in Vipers world, from one coast to the other, or from
continents,
one side of the globe to the other, head on over to breckvipers.com, get your merch there. We're going to have a quick word coming up from our sponsors here, and we'll see you folks in about 15 minutes.
Before
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Stephen C. West Ice Arena. Both sides taking to the ice here for what will surely be a thrilling final period between the Sin City Kings and your Breckenridge Vipers. Ollie, what are you looking for in this third period for the Vipers and maybe for the Kings?
I mean, looking for the Vipers to keep that pressure up, kind of rein back in what they lost in those last couple minutes of the second period. And I mean, from a Kings perspective, looking to just come out of the gate hot. Taking a look over at the bench, they definitely look a bit tired. I mean, such a short bench, such a high altitude. It's kind of to be expected at this point in the game, but I mean, from a Kings perspective, you hope they can battle through and finish this last period of the game strong.
Absolutely, and a strong start from Prekov with the face-off win. And a little battle through the neutral zone, but it's punched on into the Breckenridge Vipers zone where it's held behind the net by Scanlon and dumped off to Hawkins. Hawkins cross ice to Scanlon. Scanlon up to Svoboda. Svoboda stick handles, looking for either the seam or a passing lane. One does not appear, and G is molested for the puck. And Mitch Bailey inserting himself deep. That aggressive forecheck paying off for him. Second time in 2 games that he has seen that forecheck potentially give him an easy goal there. Last game it was the potential empty where he sort of threw a star jump right in front of the goalie.
Yep.
I believe that was second, might have been the third period. But
I believe so, yeah.
Mitch Bailey, as you've said, he plays with all his heart. He is a dedicated Viper, and we'd love to see the energy on the ice. Battenberg to the dot for the draw now, and that one back for the Kings by Prekop, tossed around the boards, but Vipers are able to gain possession in the Kings zone.
Really good job holding it in the zone there by our Vipers defenseman. Mitch Bailey, like you were saying, one of those players that you usually hear something along the lines of, you know, maybe not the most skillful on the ice, but certainly just works so hard that he overcomes it. But not only does he have that grit and tenacity, but Mitch Bailey is also one of the most talented players on the ice at a given time.
Absolutely, and a nice feed there from Bunnie for Tilly almost results in a 6-goal game again, but that puck does not find the back of the net, and we're going the other way, and now going back with Kendall. Kendall holds behind the net, dumps one off, sets a pick with Bunnie, gives his boys time to get into the zone. Tilligast back to Kendall, and Kendall feeds Battenberg in the slot. Battenberg unable to do anything with it, but does keep the puck on sides there with a nice little bit of heads up hockey. And Tilly again now for
got some extracurricular here in front of the net. Nothing arose from that. I will say it's probably the 5th, 6th, maybe even more time that we've seen this game. The Vipers in the right spot at the right time, and then they just kind of bobble the puck. They can't quite hold on to it when it matters the most.
Well, and a lot of pressure certainly being applied by the defensive core of the Kings.
It's for certain. Definitely hard to capitalize in front of the net when you got 3 guys on you. That's for certain.
Absolutely, absolutely is. But back we come to an offensive zone draw for the Vipers. Asensio to the dot for the Vipers, and Prekop for the Kings. That face off one back by Asensio, and now Asensio behind the net feeds Noble. Noble behind the cage feeds Asensio, and Asensio leaves it right in the logo on the chest of Cox. And Cox now at 60 shots faced.
And I mean, that's just on the board. Realistically, we're probably looking at closer to 80 shots probably on the night. Still just absolutely looking on form. Really, really good effort from him tonight.
At least, and Lennard at the point dumping it back in, and a quick whistle as Asensio throws a body behind the net to try and get possession back. It looks like
might be a late offsides call. It looks like they're just sending out of the zone. No penalties going on here. I think it might have just slipped out of the zone there. Maybe, you know, some criticism there from the Kings bench, making the refs realize their mistake there, possible.
Well, they've sat someone like the Swedish curling team had someone sat for the Canada match right across the line here. So he has a fantastic view of that entire line. He might have a better view than some of the linesmen would.
Certainly possible.
And that is finally punched out by the Kings and handled through the neutral zone and brought on by Corey Jew. Jew around the back end boards, and the puck is loose, and it is knocked free and is skated hard up the ice. Good chance for Solaski there, but unfortunately nothing comes of it. And a wind up for Noble, and it winds up right. Back to Solaski. Solaski feeding Asensio. Back to Noble. A quick little flick. Not sure if he meant to sell that as a fake or if that was a fake, but he sold it. Sold me at least. And Noble again fighting behind the net, keeping possession for the Vipers.
On another note, really good to see Jew back out and moving after that heavy hit. Wow.
Ooh, and Ivory catches some frozen rubber up high. He goes down immediately. It's coming back up. I do not see blood yet, but
always concerning to see. It looks like him, like it caught him below the face, possible below the face, above the chest protector kind of deal. Good to see him up and moving. That one looked quite scary. That's a dangerous place to take a puck.
Up quick, and happy to see him going. But that was a scary looking take from Ivory. Ate that one right in front of the Kings net. And now some discussion out of the Kings about the location of the face-off.
Looks like that one will come out of the zone. I believe the Kings were in possession when the whistle finally blew there, so probably just doing them that favor as they had possession when the whistle blew.
I think that's fair. Carried on by Hawkins. And spit up the end boards. They will not beat Scanlon, but the support will get a lucky rebound and a shot wide of DeVries.
Tell you what, the Kings looking honestly just exhausted. I mean, it's been a long game. They're at altitude, you know, and I will say, like, when these guys are asked to back check, when the Vipers get in, you know, in their defensive zone, there's a turnover and it comes the other way. The boys are just slow to get down the ice. I mean, it's really to be expected at this point in the game, but as a Kings player, you're definitely quite tired at this point in the game.
Absolutely. I mean, that is mental and physical exhaustion, demanding that your body puts itself over the boards for yet another shift with just under 15 minutes left in this third period. You're fighting your brain at that point at this altitude. And a quick carry on deep into the zone by Svoboda.
Really good hold there, all the way around the zone by Svoboda. Dodged a hit and made the pass there. I think that was to G. I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier, is just in terms of possession, especially in the offensive zone, the Vipers are just on another level tonight.
Absolutely, and the Baileys inserting themselves into the neutral zone rather expertly, disrupting that Kings breakout, and now it's held by Cox, giving his boys a chance to rest those legs, even if it's just for 10 seconds. They could definitely use it. I don't think that 95, Cole McCrossan bumping off Svoboda was intentional there. I just don't think he's got the legs under him to steer when they're not playing. Yeah, just looking at how thin that bench is right now, I would be fighting my brain, I tell you that.
Definitely. Not an easy time to persist for the Kings. That was a dangerous attempt there. It looks like it got clipped. Almost ended up right in front of the slot there for the Kings.
And DeVries out to field it up to Bernstein. Bernstein to Tilly, on quickly. Tilly to Battenberg. Battenberg just clips the glove side of Cox.
Looked like that might have been another one off the cage there. both Cox and DeVries been taking some hits to the head tonight. Stuff like that definitely rattles you in net.
Absolutely, and Eli Kendall quickly into the zone, and he is one of the ones that can rattle you as a goalie. He is dangerous in many ways in that offensive zone. He sets up a lot of assists for the Vipers, and a big stretch pass
Another one
up
off the
onto
cage there.
face of DeVries.
Yet another one.
Drops it down into his glove, but absolutely that has got to sting when you're playing on ice. That is so bloody fast that those pucks are coming at you.
Definitely not comfortable. Really good to see both these goaltenders just shaking those off so far. Hope they can hold on to that tonight. I will say some really solid efforts here from the Kings in the final period.
Ooh,
wow.
And a fantastic
Oh,
effort by DeVries there. Good follow-up save, but just not enough to keep it out on that third attempt, and it is pushed past DeVries. And the hockey game is starting to break out here. Still a 4-goal Vipers lead. Vipers lead this game at 7-3.
I tell you what,
Kings,
you really can't ask more of DeVries there. 2 stellar saves there, and they just couldn't cut it out in front there. That'll happen on the third rebound, and you just can't keep asking of your goalie on that.
absolutely, and the save before that by DeVries, again, absolutely phenomenal. And another quick one put on and a quick follow-up.
Oh my goodness.
DeVries dives on it and he covers it up for a defensive zone face-off coming up here in the Stephen C. West Ice Arena.
DeVries, honestly, just looking tip-top, especially on that last play. I know it didn't quite go his way, but stellar saves out of the young kid. First season with the Vipers, and he's really coming to form.
Absolutely. In good form is DeVries, making those big leaping strides, and out goes Noble to Ivory. Ivory
and he will.
Wings it past Cox and just taps it in. Don't you want to go home, puck? Can't you find your home?
Don't want to go home?
And Ivory getting a little follow-up after his opportunity was cut short on his last shift, taking a puck up high. And absolutely fantastic to see out of Mike Ivory. One of the Breckenridge locals, lives up here. He's absolutely acclimatized to this altitude. And we're going to have a stoppage of play here.
Some frustrated noises here coming from the Kings bench, and I mean, that's all you can really expect at this point in the game. It's demoralizing at this point in the game, especially when you're this tired.
Absolutely, and Cox, tough for him, but turning away 5 or 6 more before letting that one trickle past, and he's got to be getting exhausted. Quickly brought on by Matt Broman and flung around the boards, but unable to settle it down is 27, Savita. And now Jonah Hawkins slings it across for Andrew Rohde. Rohde puts one on Cox, and Cox will hold with just under 12 minutes left in this third period. An absolutely phenomenal contest. Hopefully the Kings can find some reserves in their legs, in their lungs, and pull a little bit here, because they are not out of this contest. They are just so gassed. Oh, and Jonah Hawkins sees an open 5-hole, looks for it, and Cox just gets the blade down in front of him. Shuts him down, unfortunately, but that just gives Jonah Hawkins another chance.
Once again, Vipers doing a really good job moving in the zone. Just great offense from them. Cox up to the task.
And that pop-up lands in front of Bailey. Bailey settles it down and rings the inside of the cage on Cox. Just slings it past him. And there is that grinding side of Mitch Bailey. been a minute since we've seen him put points on the board, but hey, he has been grinding in that zone all night, been winning face-offs, and puts one behind Cox. Love to see it. Vipers now lead 9-3, and another face-off win for Bailey.
Definitely. If there's someone on the ice that you can never fully count down and out, it's Mitch Bailey. Oh, and he decides
because he would like to also have a fight. So I've never seen that particular maneuver aside from on WWE. I think it's called a suplex. But Cole McCrossan, the recipient of a bit of extra love from Mitch Bailey down in the Kings zone. That puck pinched up in the corner, fought for by, big shove from Matt Broman.
And Bailey will sit him down. He says, not my Mitch.
Absolutely
95's
not.
fired up.
You stay off. Gee, the Baileys, that is a dangerous line, and a big hit absorbed by Svoboda and Mitch down.
And Mitch will go for that one, that final chop there. 95 for the Kings there, just been getting abused. He's definitely not happy with it. And they will finally get Mitch for a cross check there after the play. So Mitch will go sit at least two for that one. I know 95 is not happy right now. 95 is looking for all the smoke.
Yeah, that's Cole McCrossan. He's been getting absolutely beaten on by Mitch these past couple minutes. And Mitch Bailey, one of the leaders in box time for the Breckenridge Vipers. Yep. This season, I believe he's over an hour at this point. I think he's actually closing in on an hour and a half.
Wow. Add another 2 to that for that cross check there. Little bounce there by DeVries. Looks like that one almost snuck through.
Yeah, face-off draw won back by the Kings and immediately fired on DeVries, and now a little scrum along the end boards for it. And positive possession finally established by the Vipers as Tilligast and Kendall move quickly through the zone. Kendall looks to put one on and does not get it on net, leaves it just wide. And now Kendall tied up in the corner.
Tell you what, just when I was starting to count the Kings down and out by how tired they looked, we're seeing that physicality aspect of their game that we've seen throughout the game so far. They are, oh my goodness, they're stepping it up for sure.
Absolutely, and a big slap delivered by Selaski, and that is settled down by Cox for an offensive zone faceoff. Just under 10 minutes to go. Vipers on the penalty kill, and an offensive zone faceoff is their current situation. Asensio to the dot to take the draw with Ivory, supported by Lennard and Solaski.
Looks like we were just seeing some words of affirmation being exchanged in front of the Kings bench there. Definitely everyone's pretty fired up here with these 10 minutes left in the third period. Kings possibly shifting that mentality a little bit.
Kings look like they've got a second win here with how hard they have been coming at the Breckenridge netminder these past couple minutes. And one put on, slung all the way up, and a hard forecheck by Ivory is not rewarded. Aside from that little rebound, Ivory shakes off a pretty good-sized hit from 25, the unlisted jersey of the evening. They insist upon giving me one, so it'll be 25 as opposed to 15 this evening. No big deal. We're happy, and I don't think they'd be happy if I yelled down to the ice to get his name tape information. So the Kings will settle it down here, and a little bit of a forecheck by Rhodey, but Vipers looking to kill out the last 10 seconds of this penalty. Well, Frank Simone says, not I'm looking to forecheck and hopefully put another couple points in my name. And that pass bobbled through the neutral, and a hard hit delivered by Rhodey in front of the Vipers bench. But now Scanlon on the attack with a big slapper. Bounces off the chest of Cox, now behind the cage of the Kings. Gathered up finally, but not gathered up by friend Simone at all, but on that point is Hawkins, and he dumps it back in. And now 27 Savidro will carry it out. Will carry it up, and now that's Polchuk, I believe, 15. And a little turnover, winds up back on the stick of Scanlon, who fires another one off, and a quick follow-up comes from
that young defender, 95 for the Kings, definitely looking fired up here. He wants it. He wants it bad. Mitch Bailey also out of the box, looking hot.
Well, Mitch is going over, and that puck is held by Cox, who looks a little shaken by that last one. Possible it caught him a little low. He's given a moment by the refereeing staff to compose himself.
We're at 75 shots on the board for the Vipers tonight, and honestly, we both know it's a dramatic more than the real number.
We've sent at least 25 wide of the net, up on the glass. That draw one back by Bailey, angled for Bernstein, but unfortunately, it hops past Bunnie, and now a bit of a loose puck in front of the Viper cage, settled it down and shot up to G on to Bailey. Bailey does not shoot, instead cycles, and a beautiful follow-up by Mitch Bailey, and the Vipers pull ahead to 10-3 over the Sin City Kings.
Great finish there by Mitch. Another one of those goals. He's just grinding it out in front of the net. He gets the rebound and he makes it happen. That's honestly Mitch's forte. He's a grinder. He's everywhere on the ice. Definitely a really big presence net side. And I mean that's second or third goal tonight from just grinding in front of the net.
Yeah, I believe his next one will put him on line for the hat trick. I think he's only managed 2 in the back, but he has had many opportunities, and a quick shot by the Kings is covered by DeVries, and we will have a defensive zone face-off. And it looks like we're gonna have an exciting conclusion to this hockey game. Just under 7 minutes remaining. That draw won back by Battenberg. Kendall looking for it. A big hit from behind, absorbed by Leonard. And Kendall through the zone up to Battenberg. Battenberg's pass to Tilly does not connect. Going back the other way, Pachuk loses it in the rough, but right in front of the net. There's some contact with Jackson Wilson following his contact with Solaski. Now one tossed on by Eli Kendall, and it's covered up for an offensive zone face-off.
Cox throwing his whole body weight down on the puck on that one. He's not taking any chance with those rebounds. I think he's ready to go home and get a drink.
76 shots. That is the high of the year that I have seen that the Vipers have been able to put up for this barn. And we all know he has looked down the barrel of probably triple digits at this point. And that is quite the performance by Cox to hold them in it. So, and a hard hit on Noble as he goes for the puck, but right back up.
Yeah, it looks like just a bit of an awkward collision there on the blue line. Both of the guys going for the puck.
And Hawkins delivers a little bit of heat on that one and rushes back to the blue line to put himself back in position. Loose puck. Ivory puts himself in the mix, and now Cox covers that up.
I will say, Luke Noble skating with the tenacity of a man who is pissed off about a hit. Maybe he thinks that he was wrong in that one. I don't think there was too much there in reality, but he's definitely fired up, and honestly, I love to see it. A lot of times in a game like this, you kind of see both teams start to fade off with 5 minutes left in their third, and I will say these guys, both teams are pushing just as hard as we've seen all game, and I love that.
Absolutely love to see the motivation out of the Kings, the drive, the sheer passion to keep bringing it this deep into, well, I won't call it a drubbing, but this certainly is not an even one. And another sunk into the back of the net. That is Simone who puts it in for the Vipers. And Cox is feeling it. He is feeling it on an emotional, on a physical level. The next 5 minutes on that scoreboard cannot go by fast enough for the netminder for the Kings
that's
tonight.
That's for sure. Yeah, 5 minutes for the rest of your life. I will say that's another especially brutal one to swallow if you're Cox in this situation, because there's really nothing that he can do there. His defensemen have kind of left him out to dry again and again tonight. And I mean, we had a Vipers player waiting on the back door, stick wide open net. And I mean, Cox was in position. He slid when he was supposed to, and he just can't get there. That's one of those ones that's just really frustrating.
Absolutely, for the netminder, that is one of those things that can give you just a little bit of mental anguish, and that opportunity for Snyder just high. And now a little bit of a battle through the neutral, winds up on the stick of Snyder and going the other way. Here come the Breckenridge Vipers. The Vipers look to establish the cycle. Asenso chatting with his teammate, misses the pass potentially intended for him, but that will get left behind the Kings cage and biscuited out to G, who tosses it up to Snides, who is looking for some points. Jake Bernstein hard on. Senso contests it at the blue line, allows for just one more shot. Garrett Bailey hard on the forecheck. Svoboda coming in, making some noise. And we have a whistle.
Honestly, not too sure what's going on here. I saw a random hand gesture from our linesman. I like to think that I know a fair amount about refereeing in hockey, and I have not a clue in the world what swirling your finger downwards in a circular motion has to do with hockey. The linesman gave me this one, Trev. I'm not
sure what that sign is either. It's certainly not a penalty. It might be this night is down the drain.
It looks like we have Rick going to the box.
You know what? That's got to be a bench minor of some kind.
Bench minor, unsportsmanlike, maybe too many men. I'm not too sure, but Rick Badenberger, captain, kind of a designated penalty taker when it comes to stuff like that. Most likely a bench minor or a penalty on the coaches if he's serving it. But yeah, going to be 2 minutes for Ricky Badenberg here.
I'm not sure that the coaches have too much to complain about this evening.
I can't imagine why they would be frustrated. So maybe a bench minor, too many men. Who can say?
I wasn't keeping my eye right there. I'll be honest, that was not where the action was at. That face-off won by Tilligast and controlled by Kendall. Kendall quickly through the zone with Tilligast. Kendall lays one just wide left of the net, and back the other way we go. A little 5-on-4 action to wind this game down. See if the Sin City Kings can claw themselves back one more goal here. I think it might be unrealistic to expect them to claw themselves into a OT shootout situation.
Definitely. I'm not sure we're seeing 8 from the Kings with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left here in the third, but definitely time for another G. The boys are still fighting hard, so you love to see it.
Absolutely, and the Kings are still fighting hard. They have not given up here as we come into the final 3 minutes of this contest.
1 minute remaining on that penalty for Rick Badenberg.
And Mitch Bailey hard on the forecheck. Does not get lucky there, but Scanlon hard across the ice to force the intruding King into Jonah Hawkins and break up that play. Svoboda with some good positioning there, protecting it.
It's loose.
Oh, and a loose, dangerous puck is gathered up by the Kings and laid back on DeVries. DeVries gloves it down, And looks like we will have a defensive zone face-off coming for the Vipers.
Yeah, it looks like Drew Brees was ready to play that one, but just a whistle there from the Stripes. Give everyone a chance to settle down. I think they're trying to kind of keep tensions a little low, you know, maybe save some carnage here in the last 2 minutes of the game.
I think that could be correct. That one back by Ivory and pitched out of the side. Take that back. It does not clear the blue line, and a big slapper goes well wide of the net and ricochets to the stick of Derek Scanlon.
I think it's...
And now an offsides call. That'll be Snides and Scanny attacking close together, and Snides might have just gotten one stride too many on that. That can happen. It's a very easy miscommunication to have as you're attacking the zone with speed, and the Vipers will get a quick change. Noble to the dot to fight for that puck, and draw not really won by either side. Tossed back into the Kings zone, and the Kings toss it up into the neutral. Big shoulder from Luke Noble into 25 of the Kings, the unnamed skater.
Yeah, he's feeling it. He's certainly feeling it. That's going to be too many men. That's going to be too many men for the Kings.
Absolutely. That's
he's
unfortunate.
Not having it. That's a rough one.
Yeah, he had trouble finding that door at the end of that one. It looks like he might have been seeing double after catching Luke Noble's shoulder there. And yeah, that's an unfortunate penalty to take this deep in, and Cox has now faced 80 shots.
Yeah, that's going to be too many men. I think that penalty there is technically going to be on 25 for the Kings. But it looks like we got 52 serving it. 25 definitely got his bell rung on that hit there. Also, Jacob, we appreciate your research for us, and we can confirm after that call that we just saw that is in fact too many men. So seeing that call twice in a row definitely cleared that one up. So too many men, both for the Vipers, and then pretty much as soon as that ended for the Kings as well. Definitely kind of an unfortunate series of events there with the Vipers. With the Kings rather, with that heavy hit. Looks like he was trying to just get off, saw the puck, and thought, maybe I'll go for this.
Yeah, and Luke Noble did him no favors in that sideboard there. Definitely slowed him down.
The clock is running right now, and the penalty is ticking. It looks like they might have thrown a minute up for the timeout and forgot to turn off the penalty clock. So probably gonna be just a second here to get the clock sorted out.
Looks like we'll be sorting that out. And another member of the Kings over to deliver. Doesn't look like to be missing a gear 52. Perhaps a mismatched bucket. No.
So that's 25. That's the person 25. Who took the penalty.
So we're taking
over there now. Yeah.
We're taking the proper person off the ice. We'll get that sorted out. Yeah, looks like we're back to the proper minute 39 remaining. So now for Sin City, a penalty kill for the final minute and 39 seconds left to play in that draw, won by Mitch Bailey. Back to Bernstein, getting the cycle established up to Hawkins. Hawkins behind the net for Bailey, does not connect. Swoboda pitches it back to Bailey. Bailey up to Snides. Snides sends it up for Swoboda, and Swoboda delivers one with some heat, but does not make its way through to Cox.
Looks like 32 White was shaking the mitts there at Bailey. I wonder if he wants to shake him here with a minute left.
I would not mind a little bit more action at the end of this action-packed game, and I don't think anyone's going to say no to watching that particular contest.
I do think that would be a pretty stellar tilt. Bailey laying some skin there.
And hard in, and a hard shot absorbed by 95. That's McCrossan, who's absorbed a lot of the energy. And
it's going to be a whistle here.
We're going to whistle, yeah.
Yep.
So,
I think that's just going to be
4
possession.
on 4 hockey, and time keeps ticking off.
I don't think that'll be a penalty. I think that's just going to be possession in the Vipers' end. Just a high stick on the puck there on the way out of the zone.
Yes, okay. Apologies, I thought I had missed somebody catching a little bit of lumber.
No one would be surprised in this game.
At the point we're at with the potential glove shaken, and that is drawn to the side by Francimone.
15 white, still
Vipers.
battling hard there with 30 seconds left. Love that.
Absolutely on their starting line this evening, and that, I believe, is Pachok, and absolutely played a fantastic game. In the waning seconds of this contest, we can see both teams still skating hard. Nobody willing to hold it and just let time expire. An attempt made there by Leonard, but forechecking aggressively is Pachok. But at the end of the night, after the full 60 minutes, the Breckenridge Vipers come away with a win. 2 points in the tally for the playoff totals. Big night, hoping to bring the playoffs back to Breckenridge. Requires a couple road wins from the boys. We'll see if they can pull that off.
I tell you what, if there's one thing that White can say for sure, it's that Cox should be holding his head very, very high tonight. Played an absolutely stellar game. We're ending the game with 81 shots in favor of the Vipers with a 27 for the Kings. And I mean, we both know that it's probably pushing triple digits, if not already there for Cox. So stellar game from both the goaltenders on both teams, especially Cox. Absolutely playing out of his mind tonight, standing on his head. Without him in net, this game would have been much, much uglier.
Yeah, we could have seen a double-digit game at the end of the second, if not for Cox's efforts. He, as you say, he stood on his head. He was all over so many pucks. He got so many different looks from the Vipers. He really kept the Kings in the battle all night long. And you can't fault the Kings with a thin bench. They are missing a lot of their number one line out with injuries. I mean, this deep in any season, we do expect injuries. We don't hope for that, but they are fighting hard through a lot of injuries, a lot of their top scoring line out, but a huge win for the Breckenridge Vipers this evening.
Definitely. Until the very end, I respect both teams. I mean, we saw such a battle up until the final buzzer rang out. So really, really solid game. Yeah, I mean, not much else to say there. Really good game by both teams. Loved it. Super physical, hard-working game.
Absolutely, and a couple great tilts.
That's for sure. Yeah, definitely. Especially with some people that we don't see fight super often. So definitely super entertaining. Fantastic game here. Great night in the Steve.
Absolutely fantastic night in the Steve. I believe it'll be another 2 weeks before we're back. We might be back next week for the most up-to-date information on Vipers tickets and scores. Go to breckvipers.com, and to see league-wide scores, head on over to mhl.co. That's mountainhockeyleague.co, mhl.co. And check out the stats there. Thanks for joining us this evening. From locally to all the way across the world, we've enjoyed your company. We hope you've enjoyed ours. If you've enjoyed our broadcast, please leave a like, a comment, and the most important thing, a subscription if you want to be notified of our upcoming games. And we will see you here next time for more Vipers hockey action. I've been Trevor Poole. I've been joined in the tower this evening by Ollie Pierpont, our director of production. It's been a fantastic evening, Ollie. Thanks for joining me up here.
Thanks for having me, Trev. Great night of hockey.
Fantastic night of hockey. You stay classy, Breckenridge. We'll see you here next time.